the human resource frame of leadership, according to Bowman and Deal, I found that dealt with um, looking at the overall needs of the organization, aligning human and organizational goals together. Um, People do need each other. Those were the main highlights of the film. And as we establish structures that deal with people and have goals of people and their future, I think that even resonates a lot more as educators. In this assignment, I was looking at prioritizing. I really think establishing flat organizations, and we hire teachers come into the classroom. I've learned over the years because of entrepreneurialistic type backgrounds, or wants they want to have a lot of ownership and freedom in their classrooms. But also when you're building a community of educators and learners, I leveled mine out. I don't even see the principal at the top of the list. I see your community, because that's your ultimate accountability through your board and the representatives that they elect, and then we serve at the pleasure of the community. I mean, at the end of the day, and then down from there is the rest of the organization. On the next level, I had the students, because they're in between the teachers, students, and community. I felt those were important aspects as well to look at. But when I looked at staff, I looked at all the staff, teachers, cooks, parents, all part of kind of the upside down pyramid, supporting all those functions of the community. And we look to hire people that take ownership, align their gifts, and put them in the right places where they have the most impact, and then complement each other on a staff. And I feel like I want to give a lot of ownership and a lot of autonomy to my staff, and no one wants a micromanager trying to tell them what to do. And as principals, we have to realize that we can't do everything, and we have to trust our staff, and we have to be there to support them. And at the end of the day, we have to also remember that we're instructional leaders as well, in supporting them and being successful. So from a hierarchical structure, it's not, I've never liked these types of assignments, because there has to be a lot of fluid, and especially in the different types of organization. As you go from a larger school district to a smaller district, you learn that a lot of people have a lot of fluid movement in their assignments, because they have to wear several hats, and a lot of times they have to figure out, sometimes the most dangerous hats that you have to look at in your staffing are those who wear both the parent hat, community hat, and teacher. That can be very hard, especially if you have pairs and support staff too that have parents and their kids in the same building. Not that you don't want to embrace that, but you have to realize too, that it's hard for them to understand, the line between employee and the line between parent. And sometimes those goals can be conflicting, and sometimes it's very hard for them to reconcile those issues together, from my experience. So that has to be addressed, and when you look at those structures. But then you have to really, at the end of the day, you have to realize, being a parent and a community member is ultimately more important than the position itself, because again, we work at the pleasure of the community who elect the 7, especially in the state of Kansas, that we work for their benefit. And we must realize that, and we must understand that all of our staff have to support that common mission. And the closer we get to the community and to the accountability, I think the more successful we can be too as future administrators.